What up, everybody? How are you? Okay, here we go, man. We got a good one planned for you. Hang on, I got to turn the heat down in here. Oh, man. It is Friday, April 16th, 2021. This show comes to you each and every weekday morning at about the same time from the Baldwin Ace Hardware Fear Bunker Studio. The Eric Zane Show podcast begins now. In theory. Oh, that's terribly embarrassing. Shit, already a train wreck. Begins now.
Ruck Roosh, and I listen to the Eric Zane Show podcast because he's an idiot, swears like a trucker, loves puppy dogs, and gave away a kidney. Now here he is, Eric Zane!
Thank you, Sarah. I appreciate that. Welcome into the Eric Zane Show podcast. This is a daily show where I discuss news, nonsense, and my personal adventures each and every day of the week, Monday through Friday. All right. Let's get after it. As you know, the show is coming to you live each and every morning on Facebook, facebook.com/Eric Zane fan page. Brought to you by my friends over at Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid and EV. Please share that thing. I see Mitchell has shared that. It does help, so thank you so much if you do that. Share it away. Share it away. Twitter, a Periscope video at Eric Zane Show on Twitter, brought to you by Blue Frost IT. Retweet it with a snarky comment. I would love that. Thank you so much. And then, of course, on the almighty YouTube, Eric Zane Show on YouTube. Please subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification, and then the thumbs up. That's cool. And wherever you download podcasts, as soon as I get done with this, I then take the audio and post it to the audio platform. That audio platform is called Audio Boom. Okay? And I say that because I got in a little bit of trouble with Audio Boom. I'll get to that in just a second. But it shows up on all of them. So when you post it to Audio Boom, it goes out to all these other I don't even know a lot of these. I'm like, most people listen on Apple Podcasts, some Spotify. A lot listen on Spotify. Some people listen on Castbox, and then there's there's just so many of them. I'm like, why do we need so many of these? And to what advantage? I know so little about this shit, but so like, boy, it was a long time ago, probably a year and a half ago. I recorded an edition of the Insane Asylum. And if you don't know what that is, I am on the radio on a radio station in northern Michigan. And I'm not going to act like it's a gigantic deal. I do it for nothing. I do it just for being able to do it and being able to mention the podcast. That's the only reason why I make the show. And it's actually a pretty big radio station. It's on 3 frequencies. Q100 is on 94.5, way up there. In the Northland, 100.3 and 106.3. So it allows me to play radio, play some music, and they let me have pretty much full creative control over the music that I play. So it's fun. I make it right here. In fact, a lot of you guys send me music suggestions for the show. Some of them don't make the cut. Kenny Aram sent me a list too. A lot of his songs, probably only one half of Aram's songs that he sent made the cut. He's sending me Leonard Cohen songs for a classic rock radio station. Tracy Chapman. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? I can't pull that off. Anyway, make that show, and then I send it up there, and then I publish it on Patreon. Now, I haven't Patreon. Technically, I shouldn't be posting it to Patreon at all. That's copywritten music. I'm just gonna get right out in front of that. But for whatever reason, it's fine. So then one day I decided to post the Insane Asylum to the regular platform, the free platform, that being Audio Boom, which then gets spit out to all those other platforms I was telling you about. And I didn't think a thing of it. I know full well that when I'm doing this podcast, I am not supposed to play copywritten music for sure on all these live streams that I'm doing. They'll just mute you. And you'll get a Facebook ticket or a YouTube ticket. And, you kind of don't want that. You want to keep things smooth on your platform because you don't want to be canceled. Nowadays, you can put a video up of somebody hanging themselves, and it's tough to get it removed from YouTube. But if you play somebody's copywritten music, holy shit, my God, they will just lower the boom on you. So, okay, I tend to avoid that. I learned the hard way that you don't want to do that. But I've never really had anything edited or censored or taken down on the audio podcast until the other day when the folks at Audio Boom sent me an email saying, we are removing that show that you posted with all that music. You cannot do that. And I'm like, oh, shit. So then I got to thinking because for, quite some time now, I have been posting at the end of the podcast on the audio version only what I describe as my ride into work song, which is tongue-in-cheek because I don't have to go anywhere to go to work. And so then I'll just, give me an opportunity to post a song that I like on the end of the podcast. Just another stupid thing I do, fun, whatever. And, okay, well, after I got that note from Audio Boom saying that they took down the Insane Asylum, I got to thinking about that. I go, I better stop doing that because if they're cracking down on it, I don't want them to be removing my episodes of my podcast. I've probably done 3-4 months, maybe more, every day of ride into work songs. That's a lot of shows. So then I'm keeping my fingers crossed that they won't notice, But in the back of my head, I'm like, you're fucked. Hey, here's a nice email from Amanda. Hello, Eric. Subject line, Eric Zane Show podcast music. Oh, God, this came in yesterday. I hope you're doing well. I am the content coordinator here at Audio Boom. It's been brought to my attention that your podcast episodes frequently end with commercial music, so they have it down. They not. It isn't just occasionally playing a song. It ends with music. I'm like, oh no. We will have to remove that music. We can help set something up that will delete the last 5 minutes of every episode so you don't need to go through every episode and do it yourself. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks. Now, look, I don't want my episodes that I've made to suddenly just cut off the last 5 minutes. That would suck. Because some of the songs might not be nearly that long, and then it just sounds real wonky and very unprofessional. I mean, if I'm gonna do anything unprofessional, I'm gonna do it myself. I'm not gonna have someone else make it sound unprofessional. I do a good enough job as it is. I responded. Now, I'm not gonna fight this at all. No problem. I said, I just figured out that I cannot do that. That's kind of a lie. Would you like me to do it? I wanted to do it myself, which is a lot of work, but I'd rather me appropriately edit those than just, lop off the last 5 minutes. I wrote my last few episodes did not have any music. That's when I was tipped off that this was coming down the pipe. She says, if you could, that would be great. Let me know if you'd like us to help set up something to help delete the last 5 minutes of your episodes. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. I said, that's okay. I'd like to do it to ensure a cleaner edit. Can I please have a few days grace period to complete the work? I'm guessing I could have it all done by Sunday, April 18. So, I'm being transparent with her. And hoping that it'll all work out. She said, yes, of course. It's totally fine. Thank you. And I'm right. Okay, cool. Sorry about that. And she says, totally no worries. Thank you, Eric. So there you go. That's the end of that. I wonder how they find out. How does that even take place? Does it, does someone have to hear it and then someone tells on me? Or is there like a setup on there that there's someone monitoring? I often wonder about that. So, all right, that I knew that was coming. The end of the line on the ride into work song. So that's why it's if you're on Patreon, we can absorb the Insane Asylum for however long that's going to last before somebody knocks that one out. Show note I completely forgot that I am I'm doing a hockey game tonight. The American Hockey League is back in action. Last night, we were informed that I was supposed to have a game last night. The Grand Rapids Griffins were playing the Chicago Wolves, and one of the Chicago players tested positive for COVID, so that's the end of that. That game was wiped out. We've had several games that have been canceled. In the American Hockey League, their bubble is not nearly as thorough as like the NHL. It's a little wonky, so a lot of games get canceled. Yesterday was one of those, but tonight is hockey, unless there's some test at the last second that somebody takes and fails. The Iowa Wild in town for 2 games tonight, Saturday and Sunday here in Grand Rapids. Yours truly will be hosting it on television. The TV station is that WXSP, known as the X, Grand Rapids, I think Muskegon, Kalamazoo, Battle Creek area. It's on there. The game starts at 7 o'clock. I'm kind of like the in-studio host, throwing it over to the announcers. And I'm like the Darren Pang, okay, in between the benches also during the game. It's a lot of fun. I love it. However, that's going to screw up our Ben and Eric Patreon podcast for this weekend. So I apologize for that. We're just going to punt it off to next weekend. So if you're on Patreon, just note that there won't be a Ben and Eric Patreon podcast this week. Okay? All right. I'm really looking forward to Karl coming on the show today in about an hour and 15 minutes. Karl from Who Are These Podcasts will be here. Okay, now it's one thing to have Karl on to talk about his show and who is going to be on his show this week, which we will do. Karl is kind of getting involved in a bit of dramatics with Stuttering John. I mentioned this yesterday, but John is, he was super aggressive on his show, saying he's going to sue Karl. He did not mention Karl by name, but John was pissed. I don't know a ton about John. I was never really a listener of Stern's show. It wasn't on where I grew up. But I became familiar with John over time. And, the thing about John is he's Stuttering John, but he doesn't stutter enough to be Stuttering John, in my opinion. I would love him to stutter more. But whatever. John he is threatening our pal Karl from Who Are These Podcasts with a lawsuit over some shit. And I want to get Karl's point of view on this and kind of like pick his brain. I don't want him to show his hand completely about what he's going to talk about on Who Are These Podcasts this week. But Karl has been very, very good to me. And anytime I can get him on the show, he's okay. Not only is the show great, but Karl's fucking funny. And he makes strong points about anything. And a lot of the times he's wrong on his points of view, but that's okay because I love him how emphatic and thorough he is and having his stupid points of view. So no doubt he's going to have his stupid fucking MAGA hat on and do some crazy shit. He'll actually be joining me on the live stream. So we'll be able to actually see him if you're watching live or maybe the replay of it on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And I just realized I never sent him an invite link, so I will do that right now as I'm talking. Link to show. What I just did there, talking while I put that all together and sent that off, that's a fucking skill right there. That is an absolute professional. Not everybody can do those two things at once. I'm really great and proud of that. And humble, too. All right, man, and a lot more where that came from. You're like, Zane, are you going to talk about what happened in Chicago with the video being released of the kid, the 13-year-old getting shot? And I'm like, hell yes, I'm going to talk about that. You better believe I am not stepping away from that one. I have never, ever shied away from any of these damn stories. So you better damn well believe I'm going to talk about this. And the thing about me is you bastards don't even know where I'm going to stand on this one. Because you don't know if you're going to get woke, Eric, or you're going to get fuck. No, that's ridiculous, Eric. Okay? And I take these stories, I read the details, and I'm like, okay, what's going on? So I will do that. There might be a few new people on the live stream today. There are fans of WATP who do want to hear from Karl. If you are joining me early on, I hope I don't fuck this up, and I hope you don't go, oh my God, this is the shittiest thing in the world. What the fuck is this guy doing, wasting my time? I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you enjoy my time with Karl when he joins us. Okay, where I live in beautiful Hudsonville, Michigan. Okay, we're kind of far away, 15, 20 miles from mid-sized city. Grand Rapids is a mid-sized city, one of the largest in Michigan, but it ain't giant. And I am surrounded by red staters. Now, I would like to define myself as a moderate conservative, but I do not think like these people, okay? These are the people who can't even get up the fucking strength to help their fellow man to wear a fucking mask. These are the people who, when 9/11 happened, they were all like, oh my God, let's get together and help each other out. And now it comes to this unbelievable pandemic that has killed 600,000 Americans. These pieces of shit can't even wear a damn mask as it goes. So, that's where I stand on that. And I mince no words about it. And that's how I've felt for quite some time. Just my personal opinion. You're entitled to yours. And I'm not going to step on your feelings. Yes, I am. But this is what happened about 1.5 miles from where I sit right now. I live in Hudsonville, Michigan. The school is Hudsonville High School. There's one high school, one public high school. And, okay, outside of the doors of the school board meeting, which they had to move into a bigger venue last night because they were touching on a number of hot-button issues, and they wanted to get as many families in there to voice their opinion about this, that, and the other thing. They only are allowed a certain number of people in the meeting. One of the things they're also going to discuss is masks. All right. Right now, if you're in the school, you must wear a mask. Now, that's everywhere. Well, these idiot mossy oak wearing jackets, mom and dads, are outside of the chambers where they're having the meeting. They can't allow anybody else in. These dumbasses want to get their 2 cents heard about wearing masks. They want it so that their kids, if they don't want to, do not have to wear a mask. Okay? And they're so fucking pissed off about this because they can't get into the stupid meeting to rant and rave like the assholes that they are. They're banging on the doors and chanting. Not a one of these dumbasses is wearing a mask. Listen to this shit.
Let us in! 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 Let us in!
I actually recognize some of the people in this video.
Let us in! Let us in! Let us in! Let us in! Let us in!
Okay, stop it.
Let us in! Let us in!
And people are laughing. There's two assholes banging on the door, and the rest of the people are back, but not really committing to the door banging. They're just chanting. And then there's other people just like having a conversation. And it's like, these are the, oh God, I saw that. It's a complete shit show. What the fuck? It's moments like that. It's moments like that convince me that we are never going to distance ourselves from what we have right now. That for the rest of my years, this is the way it's going to be. Because there's no way in hell with this mindset we are ever going to get past COVID. I don't know. I'm telling you, I would have had it all taken care of. If I was president, the second this hit, everybody stays inside for 3 weeks. You cannot leave your home and the threatened shooting if that happens. You cannot leave the house. We're going to get rid of COVID. Totally kidding. All right. Next up, Chad Zumock is back. And this is also one of the things I want to discuss with Karl. Now, I've gotten you up to speed on Chad. I've talked about him extensively, and I addressed Chad in great detail on Who Are These Podcasts this past week. Leading up to that, there was a lot of discussion. I was trolling him quite a bit. He's not interested. He doesn't want any of that. Now, the point of Who Are These Podcasts was just to show the madness of Zumock. Okay? I guess he is fairly good at what he does, being a comedian. Now, I haven't witnessed that. I've seen very little of his comedy. The only thing I saw was him roasting Kevin Brennan, and it wasn't great. Maybe he had a bad day. I have no idea. I try not to be a total asshole when it comes to Zumock because I don't want you to think that I'm not. I mean, if he was funny, he's funny. But I haven't seen that yet. Now, maybe I'm watching the wrong clips. I don't know. He must have something going on. He's opening up for, what the hell is his name? Shit, I always struggle with this. Oh, God. You toured Creeps with Kids. Robert Kelly. God, son of a bitch. Somebody help me here. Somebody help me in the chat. Really nice guy, Karl says. I don't know. I forget. Why do I want to keep saying Jim Bohannon? That's the guy who does America in the Morning. Shit. All right. What do you think of that think of that name while I read this? Richard writes, have you ever seen a wheat field with the occasional weed sticking out? That is what our society has. You cannot weed them out because you will destroy much of the good crop to do so. Hello, Jeffrey. The guy who I gave my kidney to, the multi-talented Jeffrey DeChaussee is here. Thank you so much. So good to see you. I miss you. I would love to come and see you. Stay safe, please. No, it's not Gaffigan. It's not Jim Gaffigan. What the fuck is that guy's name? New Yorker. Hang on. Chad Zumock. Facebook. He posted it on there. Another second until I figure this out. Florentine. Shit, you fucking idiot. Damn it. Not him, me. What an asshole. How the fuck could I forget that? So he's got to have some ability, man. He's opening up in front of for Florentine, and he's pals with him. Jim Florentine isn't just going to say, yeah, whatever. I don't care who's opening up. I mean, so he's got to have some ability, but I'm very much thinking that he's so wound up with trying to smear the name of so many people, as we heard when I ripped him a new one on Who Are These Podcasts. The guy he can't get out of his own way, and he's his own worst enemy. And that's all I focused on. Okay. Because it's maddening. Plus, when he was on Who Are These Podcasts, nobody liked the guy. He was just an asshole. He made it so that the people that they were roasting on Who Are These Podcasts when Zumock appeared on there, that they all took a back seat because everybody wanted to kick Zumock's ass. Okay. So that's where this came from. And I just like anybody who gets ripped on Karl's show, I decided to take a run at Zumock. And I tried to be fair about it, and I only used Zumock's words, okay? And that's right. I didn't touch on any of Zumock's legal issues. I don't even know what the fuck is going on there. There's a lot of accusations flying at him, but I said, I don't even need to touch on Zumock's personal legal shit because all I got to do is take a look at his body of work and play it for the audience, and he's done all the heavy lifting. This is easy. That's what I focused on. So, okay. By the way, he deleted his so-called commentary, his review of the Cunt at the Capitol podcast, which was this poorly made thing, a farce, ripping on Chrissy Mayer. And he, after I talked about it and highlighted it, on Who Are These Podcasts, he did a dirty delete on the thing. He actually fucking eliminated it. You can't find it now. So it's like, okay, great. So, okay. And he had said to Karl, tell that Eric Zane he is yelling down an empty hallway. I want nothing to do with Eric Zane. I don't care, you know? And, you know, I'm not a big deal in any way, shape, or form. So I can understand that. If he doesn't want to engage me and he's not interested in the war, that's fine. I don't give a shit. Doesn't matter to me. The other day, he released another edition of the Sit Down Zumock podcast. He had a co-host, a friend of his name, I believe it's Tony Mazur or Mazer. I don't know how to pronounce it correctly. But anyway, they're on there talking, and then this is what happened as Karl is Chad is doing a poor job at ignoring your old pal, Eric Zane.
There's so much content out there in general, and there's just so many fucking voices. Apparently, I'm in a podcast war with somebody. Have you heard of some dude named Eric Zane?
I've heard of Billy, but not Eric.
This guy just started trashing me on Who Are These Podcasts. I'm like, who the fuck is this dude? And then somebody sent me the clip.
Is this the free beer and hot wings guy?
Yeah, I Googled him, and he was on that show, Free Beer and Hot Wings, that fucking hacky. It was like, I think it was syndicated, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was.
So
I think its market was Grand Rapids, Michigan, by the way.
I know. And I didn't even want to know anything about this dude, but I just did a little. First of all, his last name's not Zane. Of course, he had to change the name because that's what these radio dudes do. So I can't even pronounce his real last name. But yeah, it was just like he's trying to start this like radio war with me. And I'm like, I'm so not interested in it.
Okay, now I'm going to play the whole thing again, and I'm going to stop it at key points and talk to you.
There's so much content out there in general.
I like the fact that he's talking about there's so much content out there, and then he jumps into me.
And there's just so many fucking voices. Apparently, I'm in a podcast war with somebody. Have you heard of some dude named Eric Zane?
I've heard of Billy, but not Eric.
Nice joke, Tony.
This guy,
don't laugh at that, Tony. That's not a joke.
I just started trashing me on Who Are These Podcasts. I'm like, who the
yeah, there's a little more to it than that. Chad jumps into the end of the story. You got to back way up, but he doesn't. That's okay.
Fuck is this dude? And then somebody sent me the clip.
That's not true. I guarantee you listened to the whole thing because it was long. No one's going to send you the clip, idiot. No one needs to send you the clip. I promise you he listened to the damn thing.
Is this the free beer and hot wings guy?
Yeah.
Okay, so they do know. This guy does know. This other idiot, Tony, what's his fuck, who, by the way, I'm making a supercut of him because he laughs every time he says a joke. He laughs at his own fucking joke, this guy. But whatever. I'm not even going to get into that now. So this guy does know who I am.
Is this the free beer and hot wings guy?
Yeah, I Googled him, and he was on that show, Free Beer and Hot Wings, that fucking hacky. It was like, I think it was syndicated, if I'm not mistaken.
It's still very much syndicated. In fact, it's gotten much bigger than when I was on it. So it's if you did the Google, as you say, you will see that it's one of the fastest growing radio shows in the country. It's like 50 different markets.
Yeah, it was.
It still is, idiot.
Its biggest market was Grand Rapids, Michigan, by the way.
That's not true at all. The show is heard in Nashville. It's heard in New Jersey with there's 3 million people that live on the Jersey Shore alone. Not to mention Buffalo, New York. There's plenty of larger than Grand Rapids markets that show is heard on. Not that I like defending that show in any way, but fucking get your head out of your ass.
I know. And I didn't even want to know anything about this dude, but I just did a little. First of all, his last name's not Zane. Of course, he had to change the name because that's what these radio dudes do. So I can't even pronounce his real last name, but
that's the reason why I changed it. Chad, you dumb fuck, because my real last name of Zatunian is kind of fucked up to say on the radio. So I went with Zane. You figured it out. Congratulations, Chad.
I can't even pronounce his real last name, but yeah, it was just like he's trying to start this like radio war with me, and I'm like, I'm so not interested in it.
So Chad said, I'm barking down an empty hallway to Karl. Okay. All right. So again, you know I'm on his mind if he starts talking about there's so much content out there. Hey, guess what? Eric Zane and I are in a fight.
There's so much content out there in general, and there's just so many fucking voices. Apparently, I'm in a podcast war.
Okay, so that's okay. Chad is too proud to admit that I am fucking renting space in his hollow fucking head. Okay, that's a fact. And he sits there and acts like, oh, I don't know who this guy is. You know damn well who I am, motherfucker. Get your fucking head out of your ass. Okay, so there's that. I want to share that with Karl, too. There's a lot of things I want to talk about with Karl. I want to talk about the Stuttering John, how worried he is about the lawsuit that John is threatening. I want to talk about what's coming up on Who Are These Podcasts. I want to share that with Karl. Okay, so that's all coming up in about an hour. Also on the Sit Down Zumock podcast, where these two idiots sit there and talk about white guy stuff. Seriously, they just sit there and I tell you what, I don't mind anybody on a podcast putting their foot down on any one topic. Okay, that's good, even if I don't agree with you. Now, these two guys are fucking idiots, but at least they're putting their foot down. Okay, they're not just sitting there staring at each other. They're at least smart enough to take a stance on something and commit to it. So I'll actually give them credit for that. Okay, because they feel very strongly they're against the Black Lives Matter movement. They are sick of Black Lives Matter. They're like giving Black Lives Matter the finger, and they're giving LeBron James the finger. And these guys are from Ohio, so you'd think that they might like LeBron James, but no, they don't like him at all. So I give them credit for that. They're firmly planting a flag in a spot, and they're going for it. All right, great. Whether you agree or not doesn't matter. You know what they don't plant their flag in? That is quality control when the edit is done or when the show is done, and editing it so that it sounds appropriate, so that people, when they hear it, it won't make them look like stupid fucking stooges. Because Zumock apparently doesn't have the ability to edit, because at some point in the recording, this takes place. This would be a cringe of the week on Karl's show.
Self-righteous dickheads trying to be better than the next. And listen, sorry, my. Oh.
Yeah, something was going on. It was like I don't know. It was like a record scratch there. It was going on, but no. Well, with Black Lives Matter.
And then they pick up the pieces because they were hearing that too. They ended up figuring it out. What's the name of that one artist that Ben likes? That Kendrick Lamar, is that his name? I get. Isn't that what that sounded like?
Self-righteous dickheads trying to be better than the next. And listen,
isn't that song called like the DNA song? It's a DNA song.
Sorry, my.
These fucking dummies, how did you not know that? And then he just said, all right, let's post it. That's a win. That's a wrap. So that was stupid. Okay, there you go. I'll share that with my man Karl here coming up in a little bit, in less than an hour. Thank you, Chad, for mentioning me. I don't know what the fuck is your problem. You're fucking crazy. And we'll keep going. Okay. So there you go. Just found that fun. I hope you did too. All right. The open and the live stream of the Eric Zane Show podcast. As if there are a few members of Who Are These Podcasts, you know I've got sponsors. Karl made a big fucking deal about that. Well, hell yes, this is what I do for a living, damn it. In fact, buy a t-shirt. EricZaneShow.com. Click merch. I would love you to have an Eric Zane Show podcast t-shirt. The Open is brought to you by Blue Frost IT, the managed IT service provider for the Eric Zane Show podcast. If I ever get in the weeds with tech or IT, that's who I call. They are the managed IT service provider for the show. And if you have a small or medium-sized business, I would suggest you do the same. Okay, you can have an IT department, minus the high paycheck, minus the insurance costs, minus the parking pass, all that stuff. Reach out to them about signing a service contract. If your business is getting ready to move, or maybe you're going to retrofit the office, you might need some new plugs, wall jacks, line drops, whatever it may be. reach out to them about a project, okay? Or maybe you're upgrading with new firewalls, printers, computers, monitors, whatever it may be. Reach out to Blue Frost IT for a complimentary consultation. 616-200-8550. 616-200-8550 for Blue Frost IT. Okay. My friends at Horizon Hydroponics are saying that the outdoor growing season is getting close. This business, if you don't know, they specialize in everything you need for a good quality grow. It might be frickin' flowers. It might be vegetables, succulents, I don't know, or the biggest, best marijuana plants on the planet. Depending on where you are, you can grow. I mean, where I live in Michigan, it's a green-ass state, okay? Now, I don't. There was one time I tried because I was working on the radio. Ben and I were seeing who could grow the biggest plants. So in this room, before it became a podcast studio, now, last time I smoked pot was like 30 years ago. I had a big-ass grow tent in here and the lights and air scrubbers, the whole thing. It was an incredible thing. You can buy all that stuff at Horizon Hydroponics. Mine died, kind of like my radio career, but what the hell. HORIZEN hydroponics.com. If you need anything at all for your grow, reach out to Horizon Hydroponics. Order from anywhere in the USA. Orders $250 and more. The shipping is free. And if you use the coupon code Zane Show at checkout, you're going to save 10%. And there's a number right on their website. Call them. And a real live person is going to pick up the phone. You can ask them, pick their brain about whatever it is you're thinking about buying, okay? If you are local, you can buy it online, use the coupon code, and then pick it up. That's also awesome. Or just walk in and shop. You got a store on Alpine and Grand Rapids, the Growers Outlet in Byron Center. You got a store in Kalamazoo and a store in Muskegon, Michigan. By the way, I'm not ignoring the mass shooting that happened last night. I'll get to it. I don't know shit about it. I just know bad things happen again. I'll talk about that when a little bit later on. So, okay. Our very own Kenny did something amazing. Now, Kenny in Nashville, Tennessee, if you don't know, absolutely beautiful soul, is the butt of so many jokes on this podcast, okay? What with his inability to tell a concise story with the minimal amount of details he usually gives you. Oh, God. The War and Peace version of any story. This actually happened yesterday. I told what is happening with him in his life because he's at war with the local school system. Kenny is. I told what happened. And then he says on the chat, oh, man, hey, you left out the key details, man. And I'm like, call me. So I put him on. And then he said the exact same thing I said with, but what took me 25 seconds took him about 15 minutes. And I'm like, fuck, why do I fall for this every single time? And he's like, no, man, there was a key detail you left out. I'm like, oh, Jesus, no, I didn't. I didn't at all. I made it very, very simple. Listen, this is what happened. Where Kenny lives in Tennessee, he has the option of keeping his kid home from school. Okay, they say, hey, if you want, you can do the Zoom class if you're not comfortable with the kid coming into class in person. So he took that option. Then it comes time for it's a time of year when you do the standardized testing, when the school is determining, based on the number of students who come to the school and participate and actually take the test based on how they perform on the test and the number of students who participate on the test, they get funding from the state. Okay. This has nothing to do with grades or anything like that. Okay. So Kenny says, okay, so yeah, we're not going to come in for that. And so they're like, no, you got to come in for that testing. He goes, well, this is bullshit. The whole year we've been doing doing testing via Zoom. Why don't you just do it this way? Which I understand his point. And they're like, no, you can't do that. So the kid doesn't come in to take the test. And then they locked her out of the classroom. They locked his kid out of the class. This is a 7-year-old kid, you know? And They locked her out. So Kenny called the TV station. That's it. I told the story. Kenny went, "Oh no, man, you got more details than that. It's bullshit." So he went cuckoo. But the TV station did a Zoom interview with him, and this is the story. Now, here's the best part of the story. And I don't have it up in front of me right now, and I don't want to screw with it because I'll mess it up. But on the Zoom, which they showed our pal Kenny, behind him, he bought some of my merch, a giant cloth tapestry with my face on it and the show logo, and it's behind him. It consumes like 3/4 of the shot. It's so perfect. And I'm like, yes! So thank you, Kenny. I appreciate that. And this is how it sounded when our boy was making his case for his little girl. Go, Kenny, go.
For tonight, Sumner County parents say their children are being treated unfairly for not taking the standardized TCAP
It's not fair!
test in person.
They say they didn't feel safe sending their virtual students to take the in-person only test. Fox 17 News' Rachel Teedy is live in Sumner County, where parents tell us those children are now being denied access to virtual class on test days. Rachel.
A dad I spoke to said that he's frustrated. He said because of the pandemic, he didn't feel comfortable sending his daughter to that in-person test. But
a dad I spoke with kept complaining of a bad back.
also said he doesn't feel like that should be a reason why she doesn't get her education for the rest of the day.
Everyone just basically feels helpless.
Kenneth Hinson says his third-grade daughter has...
Kenneth Hinson? Since when? It's it's Kenny, for God's sake. Huh?
been using the Sumner Virtual Academy all year long. But now he says she can't get into her class on the days that she doesn't take state tests.
Being marked absent and refusing to allow them on the Zoom, it just doesn't make sense.
The state test is only available in person, and he said his daughter's teacher told him that if his daughter doesn't take the test each day, she's counted absent for the entire school day. Hinson also said that she's not allowed into the classroom for the rest of the day, even though that time isn't related to the test.
It seems like we're being, well, not us, but our daughter, our little girl is being penalized for that. And why? Right on the Zoom.
I reached out to the school board members, the elementary instructional coordinator, as well as the school district's community relations supervisor asking about this. He wrote back that students aren't.
Behind him, that whole sign is, I mean, you wouldn't believe it. It's filling up the screen.
For that. And why? Right on the Zoom.
I reached out to the school board members, the elementary instructional coordinator, as well as the school district's community relations supervisor asking about this. He wrote back that students aren't missing instruction and are welcome back into the class. But Hinson says that's not what this email says. Another teacher on a private Facebook page said the same thing.
So basically, it's two things coming out of their mouth. They're lying to you.
The teacher's name on this email is blurred because Hinson says he knows teachers aren't at fault and are stuck in the middle.
I know that
Kenny complaining. This is perfect for Kenny. I'm surprised all of his dirty laundry didn't come out. You know, my wife cheated on me. Oh, my God, shit.
Teachers don't get enough credit for everything that they have to put up with. So this isn't on the teachers at all.
But he hopes he can get some answers, saying he feels his daughter deserves schooling, even though they don't feel safe attending in-person testing.
I'm hearing that some students' parents are being told the same thing, and then the others are like, well, we didn't take our child, and they were allowed on the Zoom. So I don't understand that. That's even more confusing, honestly.
He's hoping.
Can you imagine if the reporter said, "Now, I spoke with Hinson, and you're just hearing 35 seconds of his communication. We actually spoke for 7 hours."
His daughter can get back in class before state testing is over. Now, lawmakers have said that schools and districts.
They come back to her. She's hanging herself for the duration of conversation. Got the best of her that she was talking to Kenny. She's just swinging. All you see is her feet, like in that scene from the movie Airplane.
And teachers aren't facing any negative consequences from the test this year because of the pandemic. However, districts do need 80% of their student population to partake in the test. Reporting live in Sumner County, Rachel Teedy, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
What'd she say? Your Code Red station? What the hell is that all about? Kate says, trust me, those tests don't count for shit when the kids get older. It's just a cash grab for the school. That's what they're doing, Kenny. They're punishing you. Holy shit. Principled Uncertainty, I think, is one of the Who Are These Podcast bunch who's checking in early with that usual high-level snark that you see from the crowd of Who Are These Podcasts, except your joke is fucked because you fat-fingered it, stupid. Tapestry merch, have you branded, I think you mean quilts, too? All right. Thanks anyway. And then, okay, so there you go. And then somebody said Kenneth Hinson. It should have said Commanda. Okay. Sorry about that, Kenny. Kenny says they spoke for 10 minutes on Zoom. It was great. And how many times did she say she had enough? Hey, we've got enough from you. We've got more than enough. We're just going to wrap it up. No, man, I got one more thing to talk about. Nathan says, agreeing with Kenny, these are special times. If the school would benefit from those tests, they should send someone to your house to observe. I agree. Kenny, man, you with that beautiful, shining, cherub-like face on TV, you might get some of that Nashville poon thrown at you. MS Pussy says, no, he meant quills, the feather pens. Really? Thank you. Richard says, replying to Nathan, that is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Who is going to pay for all the observers? Shaking my head. Take your kid in for testing or shut the fuck up. Richard says to you, Kenny. Kenny, you going to take that shit? He's telling you to shut the fuck up. But I am curious, Kenny. I mean, seriously. Put a frickin' a respirator on the kid and just keep her away. I mean, have you, if you're, and I'm being serious here. I'm not even being a smartass. If you're worried about taking your kid to the classroom, I can certainly understand that. But would it not hold true then that you don't take her anywhere? I'm curious about that. I think maybe, Kenny, I'm gonna reach out to you, okay, buddy? I'm gonna bring you in here. I'm not even being a dick. So I mean, maybe you can shine a light on that for me. Hang on, let me look you up. Hey Siri.
Uh-huh.
Call Commanda, mobile on speaker.
Sorry, I don't have a mobile number for Commanda Kenny. Just to confirm, you'd like to call Commanda Kenny?
Yes.
Calling Commanda Kenny on speaker.
There it is.
Hello, liar. Good morning.
What do you mean, liar?
Change that crap in your phone, dude.
Yeah, well, I've been busy. I've been busy. That don't deflect here. I need some clarification.
Clarification on what, man? You said you agree with me. We spoke about.
Well, I am. I know, but first of all, you sound all defensive. But,
well, gee, I wonder why.
First of all, thank you for the beautiful publicity. That was spectacular for the Nashville area.
That was a great shot, wasn't it?
It was very cool. Thank you for buying that piece of merchandise too. I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's one of the last things I used my credit cards for before I had to cut them off.
Yeah, I love your spirit, considering the fact that you're like, oh God, I'm in debt. I got to get rid of these, but you still are laughing about it. So.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, it's kind of funny. I'm giving the finger to them all right now, and I'm going through a debt relief company. So.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Hey, you're not alone. You're not alone.
No,
hey,
I know I'm not.
So let me ask you this. The idea is to keep the child safe. She educates from home, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And I understand that. I mean, you're not going to get any judgment from me. I mean, that's terrific.
Sure, you never did.
Well, I know I do, but just not on this one. But what I need clarification on, then the concern is the actual action of going into the school for however long it takes to take this standardized test. You want to be consistent. You know what you're like, oh hell, what if I didn't send her to school all this time? Why am I going to send her to school for this test? They have the ability to give her the test the way they have been other tests. Why don't they just do that? Correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess my question is, does your little girl, does she go to other places, or is she in the house only?
The only places that we go are the grocery store, rare occasions, and I mean that's it. We haven't even physically gone to church and
Okay.
gosh, forever.
Okay,
And
so you're
she's
consistent.
still one of those kids that hates going. She has friends and misses them, and I hate that. But
Okay. So there has, other than a trip to the grocery store, which is definitely not the same as sitting in one spot. And by the way, anybody who suggests that whole thing about, how come we can go to the grocery store, but we can't go to a restaurant? You fucking dummies. You're moving through the grocery store. You're not sitting there talking for extended time. So enough with that shit.
Okay. Yeah, also, how are you going to wear a mask while you're eating?
Yeah, it's all stupid. The whole thing is, it's a dumb argument. Okay, so I just wanted to get clarification. You are keeping her. You're working very hard to keep the kid away from any type of setting outside of the home.
Right. And the point with all this is that the mask mandate also for our county expired this week. So they expected parents to be, who was participating in this whole past virtual school year. They expected us all to be okay with, just bring us your kids for a couple hours. And, we don't have to wear masks anymore, but we'll still keep them 3 feet apart. Well, 3 feet? This is the first time I ever heard 3 feet.
You didn't? I actually heard 3 feet. You know how it, or 3 feet. You know how it is. This moving goalposts and this whole fucking thing. It's nobody knows what the fuck is going on.
Well, the point is that they don't have to have all of the students go, but they tried to spin it like they did, and they tried to word things they sent us like they did. But no, they clearly only need 80%, which they probably have 80% going in person anyway. So why are they bullying the virtual student families?
Now, is she let back into the class yet?
No. I mean, this was aired last night, and the tests are happening like actually right now at the school. The first few hours of the morning for this week and next week. And then they have a time where they wanted parents to pick them up, and then lunch break, and then they get on at noon. And so far this week at noon, she's not been allowed in.
Okay, so that's all weird. That's all strange. Have you heard anything else since you did the whole whistleblower thing on TV?
No, I'm waiting. I'm wondering what's going to develop today.
You should have dropped some motherfucks in there. I'm thinking
right,
if you lost your mind and maybe ripped off your shirt or something. I mean, I don't know.
Raise out, Hulk out.
All right, Kenny. Very good. I hope it goes well. I appreciate the time.
All right, buddy. Later.
Okay, see ya. There you go. Just the holy shit. He's going through the ringer. It's wearing him out. You did pretty well. We got through that in under 10 minutes, so I'm happy. Good luck, Kenny, and thanks for putting the Eric Zane Show podcast tapestry behind you. I appreciate that. Okay. Where are we? I'm lost. Holy shit. Okay. June 1st, totally different topic. June 1st is the day that the government has to come clean on UFOs. And I've been all over this. Think about that. COVID relief. This is when Trump was in office. COVID relief bill gets passed. That was the one that Trump said, I'm not signing it. 600 isn't enough. We're going to need $1,400. I'm not signing it. And he went back to Mar-a-Lago, and then they followed him there with the bill. Said, please sign it. Please, please. Finally, he signed it. Everybody got the $600 off. We go. On that bill, I don't know who the hell did it, and I'm not going to bother even looking it up. Some wise ass, which I'm glad he did it, he or she did it, added to this that 6 months from the signing of the bill, the United States government has to release all that they know about UFOs. That's just so strange to me that that's added onto that bill. UFOs, what we know about UFOs. Now, in the past few years, little bits and pieces of information have been released to the public, leaked videos, and then you'll see a lawmaker say, "Oh my God, yeah, this is real," and we got to. But it's been at a trickle, an absolute trickle. The latest video is a leaked bit of footage from July of 2019. The warship, the USS Russell, is off the San Diego coast. And what you see is, all right, I'm going to actually do the screen share here so that you can see this for yourself. They're described as pyramid-shaped UFOs, okay? These pyramid-shaped UFOs that are seen over the USS Russell, okay? And, all right, this is like night vision. That's why it's green like that. And you've got 1, 2, and I guess there were 3 of these that were just 700 feet above the warship. Let me pause right there and just say, okay, now what you see right there, that is the best image we have. You fucking assholes who shoot the video. Is there anything you can do to give me some perspective? All I see is the sky. Is there any way that we can get more than just that? How is it that that's the only thing we can see is this shitty fucking still pictures? You mean to tell me there isn't anything moving right now? Oh, God. It's a dumpster fire. It doesn't look like anything to me, but I'm looking at the story about it. Pyramid-shaped UFOs spotted by the Navy may be the, quote, best the world has ever seen, according to filmmaker Jeremy Corbell, who looks like a douche. This is probably the best UFO military film footage, certainly, that I've ever seen, but I think also that the world has ever seen. Well, it still sucks, okay? It's garbage. And now, though, the Pentagon has said, yeah, what you see, what you know about those, what you see there is what we know about those. And what you see is the truth. So the Pentagon is saying, and they're doing this with more frequency. They're saying, yeah, we don't have anything to explain it. We have no idea. They have confirmed that is an authentic piece of material of the video and the images showing multiple UFO sightings by U.S. Navy personnel. And it's important to point out here that a UFO doesn't mean it's an alien, okay? All we have is the fact that nobody can explain what this thing is. 18-second video shows what is described as 3 pyramid-shaped UFOs hovering above the USS Russell. At one point, the pyramid-shaped craft reportedly hovered 700 feet over the tail of the Russell. This is the first video the public has seen from the July 2019 incident in which mysterious UFOs described as unmanned, how the fuck do you know? Unmanned aerial vehicles reportedly harassed at least 3 U.S. warships during military exercises over multiple days. At one point, matching the speed and bearing of one destroyer for 90 minutes while performing brazen maneuvers. So are you telling me for 90 minutes this thing is harassing you and all you get is a stupid still photo and 17 seconds of video or whatever? Come on, guys. With that amount of time, you should have been able to take a picture of the inside with whoever's inside of it waving at you. Months earlier, an FA-18 pilot reportedly used his cell phone to snap photos of 3 different unidentified aircraft off the coast of Oceania in March, including 2 UFOs dubbed the Metallic Blimp and the Sphere. I don't know if I've seen those. I don't recall. I can confirm that the reference photos and videos were taken by Navy personnel, according to Department of Defense spokesman Susan Go. Look, if I'm Joe Biden and I see what the world sees, because you know how these agencies probably don't even talk to each other. If I'm Joe Biden, the first thing I do when I'm elected president, I take a ride over to the Pentagon and all right, who's in charge? Let's go over everything you know and see. I mean, I want you taking me down to the basement where it's just like the movie Independence Day where the bad guy's in a fucking thing and they're examining him. I mean, seriously, that would be the first. Forget executive orders. Forget Black Lives Matter. Forget gun control or anything about the pandemic. It is all out the window. My first job is get to the bottom of this. And then I wouldn't be able to, if they said, yeah, okay, but you can't say anything or else the public, I would say, yeah, sure, I won't. And then the first thing I do is I talk about it. The video and images were leaked to filmmaker Jeremy Corbell, who made the documentary Bob Lazar, Area 51 and Flying Saucers. That was a terrific documentary. You must see that. I thought I recognized the name Corbell, but yeah, that was actually really good. Bob Lazar was the dude who was on Rogan's show. And, of all the times I've listened to Rogan, I can count on one hand how many times I've listened to the beginning and the end, or all the way through to the end, because, let's face it, some of those get super long, and I'm like, fuck, I can't take it anymore. It's just not, it's got to be really, really great for me to get through. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying I can only go so far. But the Bob Lazar one on Rogan, that's worth your time. Holy shit. This is the guy who worked in New Mexico in that area of Area 51. And just hearing him talk about what he has seen, if you have a bullshit meter, and I hope you do, it's not great, but it's an okay bullshit meter. My bullshit meter was not going off at all while listening to Bob Lazar. And I know this sounds weird, but I kind of trust Rogan on a lot of these things. I really do. Some of you are like, oh, yeah, fuck that guy. And he seems he's got a good bullshit meter too. And I do trust his more than I do mine. Corbell and Knapp independently confirmed that the leaked documents are unclassified images that were part of a series of classified briefings intended to educate members of the U.S. intelligence community and about UFOs traveling in restricted airspace. I would trust Corbell more if he didn't have such a douchey look about him. Anybody who wears his hair like that, and I'll show it to you, I just can't trust him. Look at, I don't know. I guess it looks okay. He just looks a little douchey to me. He would probably say the same thing as you are about me. Okay. So with all of that being said, Corbell says in a separate event, 3 photos leaked to him, purportedly from the USS Omaha, show a spherical UFO descending into the ocean, seamlessly disappearing without destruction. According to Corbell, a submarine unsuccessfully attempted to find the unidentified aerial vehicle. Going into the water, what? See, this to me is huge. This is far bigger than anything else that we would talk about. And if anything ever happened, if you ever wanted to get the world off of mass shootings, if you wanted all mass shootings to stop and you wanted everybody to not being so worried about the a pandemic, all we need is one of these asshole alien crafts to just land. All you got to do, just land in Central Park, please. Lower the thing. The guy comes out. He goes, hey, what's going on? Yeah, we're here. We're friendly. Smell you later. And then leave. We get nice, perfect video of it. And then off we go. That we are now into a whole new sandbox at this point. And we can then put this is what we need. We need these aliens to land and have some type of interaction, not these stupid, grainy, green videos that look like shit. Come on. The Pentagon's Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force is now investigating what these unidentified aircraft are. That group was formed in the summer of last year. So, I am lockstep on this shit. I am not one of these people to say that this is all being poo-pooed and this is all bullshit. I believe it, man. Damn it. So, I'm anxious to see what happens June 1. And I tell you what, every time I go up north to Fear Bunker North, where it's crystal clear skies, at night, I just walk around staring, waiting for the big one. I'm not even joking. All right. Principal, who's extremely active in the first appearance on the Eric Zane Show podcast, welcome to you. His story is bullshit. It's been blown to smithereens many times. Get that meter checked, Eric. Rogan believed in Bigfoot until yesterday. What are you talking about? Send me proof of that. Eric at ericzaneshow.com. I would love to see the so-called proof. I am not above reading something of the opposite point of view and then turning around and saying, I'm a fucking idiot for believing that. So if you want to see that, send me your shit, principled. Eric@ericzaneshow.com. Kevin, of a much more stable mind, says that was an amazing podcast with Lazar. I don't think his story is bullshit in the slightest. Kate says, check out the Rogan podcast with Dan Aykroyd. Huge believer. Let me ask you this, Principal. Are you saying that we are, I mean, you might not believe Lazar, but do you think that we are alone? If you are, holy shit, that's a complete farce in my opinion. There's no way that we are not alone. Look at Zumock. He's one of them. He's got to be. Nobody in their right mind that was actually a human would actually have such a stupid viewpoint of the world. I am of the opinion that Zumock is an alien. Thank you, Principal. I would appreciate that. By the way, you're already a pain in the ass in this room. Jesus. Okay. I'm going to leave that one right there. Let you chew on that. Any of these stories that I have in the podcast, I will feature on my website, so you can do your own research and read on them. I'll link them up in the comments of the podcast, the audio podcast, and I'll put them at ericzaneshow.com right on the homepage. Hey, I'd love to help your business. As you know, that has been the bread and butter of the Eric Zane Show podcast, putting local sponsors and some sponsors that have more than a local platform onto the podcast so that they can sell their shit. That's how I'm able to do what I'm able to do every single day, and it has been that way for some time. So let me help your business. Reach out to me, eric@ericzaneshow.com, and I'll tell you how it works. I can put you in front of a pretty damn good audience. It ain't the biggest, but it does tend to work. So thank you so much for that. Eric@ericzaneshow.com if you want more information. You can buy a set of cornhole boards from anywhere in the lower 48. Okay? Cornholeamerica.com. And you can put anything you want onto a set of cornhole boards. For about $200. These are professional grade, by the way. They're the best you can have made that there is, and they appropriate bounce, appropriate slide. They're absolutely awesome. They'll last forever. You can put a Who Are These Podcast logo onto a set of it, okay? You can just reach out, say, here's what I want on the set of the boards. Karl's going to say, hey, what the fuck are you doing? That's my logo. You can say, fuck you. Put Karl's logo onto a set of cornhole boards, okay? I've got my logo on there. You can just search Eric Zane Show at cornholeamerica.com and you'll see what I have. But you can put anything. You can put Stuttering John onto a set of cornhole boards at cornholeamerica.com. Thank you so much to them for being a part of the show. They also have these tournaments. If you ever have a fundraiser that someone you'd like to make money for, let's say you got a sick kid in your community, you want to have a fundraiser for him in the event being a cornhole tournament where people pay a few bucks to get in. That's a great fundraiser. Reach out to Cornhole America. They'll make the boards for the whole thing and host it for you. Cornholeamerica.com. More fun to be had at TC Paintball, the ultimate socially distant, fun-filled event. You're trying to stay away from each other. You're wearing a mask. You're shooting paintballs at each other. That doesn't really have anything to do with COVID, but that's just the fun of it, man. It is so much fun. Thank you so much to TC Paintball GR for being on board with this show. We have an event coming up right around the corner in the month of May. We are just over 1 month away from our next paintball event. It happens Sunday, May 16th, 5 p.m. start. Pizza beforehand from BC Pizza. And then 2.5, 3 hours worth of paintball fun. We'll divide up the teams. If you want in, you must send me an email, eric@ericzaneshow.com, and you can be part of the fun. tcpaintballgr.com. That's where you go if you're scheduling your own party. For my event, it's $35 per person. If you're going to do it on your own, it's $48. So a little bit more expensive. Zane Show podcast listeners get it at a discount for my paintball events. Thank you. tcpaintballgr.com. All right. Well, let's get into the ugly. I have never shied away from any of the odd, bizarre stories that dominate our world. In the last 12 hours, 18 hours, yesterday it started out with the releasing of the Chicago video of the dude running from the cops who had a gun, dropped the gun. Cops said, drop it. He whipped around with his hands. He stood there. They shot him dead. The world's lost their mind. They're positioning the story. Okay, you're like, Zane, where are you going to fall on this? Are you going to be anti-cop on this one? Are you going to be like, well, let me just explain this to you. Imagine this. You are a cop. You hear shots fired. You show up on the scene. This is what happened. 2 people are there. They take off running. The cops think these are the bad guys. The dude who got shot drops the gun while he's being chased. This cop has no idea he's dropped the gun. He's chasing a guy with a gun in his mind. All right? He gets to a point and yells, freeze, stick him up, drop it. The guy no longer has the gun. The cop has no idea. Imagine this. You're a cop. Your job is to stop the bad guy, keep the public safe. He's chasing the bad guy who has a gun as far as he knows. The gun has been dropped. The person whips around, hands up. The cop fucks up and shoots him dead. This case is unique and different from the other ones that are dominating the headlines right now. This is much different than George Floyd. This is much different than Army lieutenant who got pepper sprayed in Virginia. Okay? But the protests and all of the shit that's going on now and will continue more than likely. I didn't even check to see if Chicago burned last night. I imagine there was some pissed off people, to be sure. And you're wondering why I've kept certain details out. I'll get to it. This is very, very different at this point, okay? Because now when the investigation goes and talks to the cop and the investigators talk to the cop about all of this shit, you're going to get his point of view as to when he was tailing the guy and what he saw and what he thought. Okay, so this is all fucked up. Okay, there is no question. Dead person. Now you add into the mix, this is a child. A 13-year-old boy. At the time, the cop's chasing the suspect. The cop has no idea that this is a teenage boy, and he has no idea whether he has dropped the gun. All he knows is he's chasing a bad guy who he knew had a gun. That's it. So all of those other variables, this is how they positioned it in the news. This is how they're explaining this. An unarmed 13-year-old boy is gunned down with his hands up by police. That's fucked. Saying it like that, an unarmed 13-year-old boy is shot dead by a cop. And the kid had his hands up. That's that on its surface, that sounds weird. And it was sent to me. And by the way, Terry says, and the mayor of Chicago, that Mayor Lightfoot, she says, she says, we failed him. It's like, oh, hold on a minute. I don't know if it's a great idea for the mayor to throw the cops under the bus. I hate this when this happens, when police chiefs and mayors reactionary on the scenario as opposed to waiting. So what she's done now is she's pitting the public against the cops with that statement. You gotta be very careful here. And then she's calling for gun laws. And it's like, holy fuck. Chicago, Illinois, and the whole state is one of the strictest gun laws in the fucking United States. That didn't help here. This kid still had the fucking gun. So, I think you're out of line by suggesting your first suggestion about saying, oh, yes, we failed him. And I think you're out of line by suggesting that you need more gun laws. Now, I am a case-by-case describer of these scenarios. I am not dyed in the wool on any one thing. I take these things, I absorb the information, and then the opinion that I give you, as you know, is always fucking right. I am 100% right all the time, and I'm 100% right here. This is bullshit. This is terribly tragic that this kid is dead. But this cop has no idea that's a kid. This cop has no idea that this kid dropped the gun. Okay? And all he knows is he's trailing this guy. Put your hands up. The kid whips around, and then on the TV, they say, we're going to pause it during the bad part. And then so you see it in the lens of frozen in time. That affects the narrative on this thing. Okay? Absolutely. Coupled with the idea that it's being positioned as... while the George Floyd trial goes on and the defense rests, in Chicago, an unarmed child was gunned down with his hands up by police. That is fucked. Okay? Make no bones about it. That is 1,000,000% wrong how they are doing this. And I can't get behind that. I'm not saying anybody's right or wrong. I'm saying that they need to look at the facts. They need to talk to the cop, find out where he stood. Now, are they going to end up, because of public pressure and in a very, very liberal town, are they going to throw the book at this cop? Is he going to lose his job? Is somebody going to threaten him with death or killing him? Is he going to have to go to jail for this shit? We don't know. But that might be the road that they go down because of all of this, because of the nature of the game that we are in right now. So, oh boy. And you might be like, Zane, where do you stand on Chauvin? That guy's guilty as fuck. That's how different these things are. Chauvin is a guilty motherfucker. In my opinion, that guy murdered that guy in the street. And if he gets anything less than murder, that state's going to burn. All the fucking major cities are going to burn. If they end up not getting a murder conviction for Derek Chauvin, fuck. Patriot Nick adds this. The media trying to incite a race war. Hell, CNN openly admitted they're peddling propaganda. I don't know anything about that, but I mean, it's hard to not think that based on what I was just talking about. Sorry, hold on. Kevin adds, here's an idea. Get kids interested in STEM and skilled trades. STEM, you mean like stem cells? What the fuck are you talking about? Make that accessible and easier to get into than it is for kids to deal. I don't know, man. I think I'd rather be interested into guns than be into STEM or whatever the fuck it is you're talking about. Kevin's saying, put down the Rugers, pick up the wrenches. No. Jason writes, media routinely picks and chooses what clips to show and wording to fan the flames. It's hard not to think that based on this story in order to sell airtime, papers, etc., but it is rare. It rarely is accurate. Science, technology, engineering, math. Oh, I didn't know that. It seems like everybody knew that except me. All right. Okay. And then real ugly. Last night in what town was that? Shit. This story is so fresh. The latest mass shooting. FedEx. Indianapolis. My God. These folks at a FedEx facility, they go 24 hours. And some fucking maniac marches into the place. According to one eyewitness I saw on the Today Show this morning, he was the bad guy was screaming and yelling and looking for the boss or his supervisor. He wanted to kill his boss. And in the process, shot 8 dead, wounded several more. I think it might have been 7 dead, and then he himself was dead, I guess. One guy was witnessed running to his car, whipped open the trunk, and pulled out a weapon to neutralize the bad guy. He's a sheepdog. The sheepdog's running to the danger. And he was shot and killed. So he died trying to save those lives. And my God. So a million questions. They are already describing this as gun violence. It's just violence. They are already talking about the weaponry used. According to one person described it as an AR. I don't know. Who knows? Frankly, I'm of the opinion if with a wave of a magic wand, if anything that's listed as that style of gun, you know what also works to kill people? Any other gun. So I don't know. I don't know about that. Will anything get done? I don't know. One thing I do know is this. There's going to be a lot of discussion about it, and it's going to be nonstop. So now we are adding to our plate, in addition to cops versus black people, we've got mass shootings. So the gun control is on the plate, and then COVID. Michigan, another miserable day yesterday, as about 9,000 more in this hellhole hotspot state getting sick as a dog. I hope you're all doing okay. Shit. However, the positivity rate has dropped. It's crazy. 4 weeks ago, we were at 3% positivity. Okay, so if you test 100 people, 3% are sick. That's the goal. We were up to like 19% about 3-4 days ago. Yesterday, about 13.5%. For what it's worth. Hopefully, it'll keep coming down. Okay. I want to talk a little bit about Brett Favre. I posted this yesterday on Facebook, and it led to a lot of discussion. And boy, Joey Williamson has been he went after it. Now, this is Joey Williamson from Hollywood's World of Sports. I love Joey, but what a dumb shit. Oh my God. Some of your opinions, man, and for a lot of the audience, I don't understand why you guys think this way. Why do you have such a problem when people who are in the public spotlight talk about issues and express themselves about shit going on in the world? Why is that a big deal? Why do you look at that and say, yeah, shut up and stick to acting? Shut up and stick to sports. Nobody wants to hear what you think. No, bullshit. Everybody wants to hear what they think. Why do you think they do it? If you're somebody who's mega popular and you have an opinion about something, who the fuck are you to tell them not to express themselves? Let them do it. You can do it too. It's not their fault that you're nobody and they're somebody. If you're allowed, okay, if you're there and you run a fucking machine press and you're sitting there bitching and moaning to all the guys at the shop, spewing whatever it is you believe in, they got to put up with your ass. Why the fuck can someone else who has another profession that happens to be something where a lot of people pay attention to them, what the fuck is the big deal? How is that any different? It's not any different at all. So shut the fuck up. This comes because all-pro dick pic sender that I wrote, Brett Favre, he says athletes shouldn't be saying anything. Here's the problem. Favre, I'm sure it's more along the lines of if he doesn't agree with you. Favre seems stupid. By the way, I think Brett Favre might have a real issue with alcohol. I think he was always known to have the thirst. And here's why I say this. When you drink excessively and you get older, your nose grows. It sticks out. It gets longer. It gets like a bulb, like Rudolph, and it turns red with all these veins on it, or little blood vessels. It's Jimmy Durante, the old school comic from way back, had this. It's a Jimmy Durante nose. I have relatives who drank till they died. They look like Brett Favre looks now. Favre is drinking excessively. It's as plain as the nose on his face. I'm convinced of it. If you see any of those commercials for Twin Spires, the online gaming app, pause it and look at this fucker's nose. I'm telling you, he's drunk as shit. Favre says he does not like it when athletes weigh in on politics. I know when I turn on a game, I want to watch a game. Well, yeah, idiot. They're not saying the quarterback isn't going under center and barking out an audible and then saying Black Lives Matter, dickhead. He says, I want to watch players play and teams win, lose, come from behind. I want to watch all the important parts of the game, not what's going on outside of the game. Well, don't watch it then. And I think the general fan feels the same way. Yeah, the stupid ones. I can't tell you how many people have said to me, I don't watch anymore. It's not about the game anymore. And I tend to agree. Yeah, you're an idiot. Okay? I don't give a shit what any athlete says. I still like watching football because I'm not a fucking oversensitive pussy who can't take it when somebody says something that I don't agree with. Half the time, these assholes say shit that I don't agree with. And you know what I do? I shrug and feel how I feel and move on with my fucking day. What an asshole. Some of the comments. Let me get right to this stupid ass Joey, whom I love. If you're one of the handful of who are these podcast listeners who are getting this, I call all these people stupid asses. I love them, but boy, are they stupid. Joey, this is one of those times I'm going to legitimately disagree with you, Eric. When I watch sports, I don't want to hear about politics. What the fuck are you talking about? They're playing the fucking game. The game ends. They take a shower. Then they talk politics. Watch the game and turn it off, dum-dum. You want to hear about them, then go watch the crappy networks of CNN and Fox. If any one of us protested at our jobs about things we didn't like, then we'd all be fired. I don't know about that. Around the water cooler, I'm sure a lot of people talk about what they want to talk about. If they want to raise awareness and be activists, that's fine. But do it during the off season and on your days off. What? Are you simple? Who gives a shit when it happens? You never saw Muhammad Ali stop during the middle of a fight. I have never once seen a football player in the middle of a game stop and start talking about what's on their mind. He did it on his own time when he wasn't being paid to do it. And so I'm trying to engage him so that he'll get his feet moving and talking. I said, yeah, well, doesn't a prominent person taking a stand on something spur a conversation? What's wrong with that? So this went on and on and on. Oh my God. So Joey, I love you, but you're dumb as fuck on this one. Holy shit. What is so wrong about people expressing themselves? Who cares? Are you that much of a child that you can't just discern it and dismiss it and go on about your day? Jesus. Joey says, Brent, I'm not telling Eric how to run his page. LOL. I love Eric's content. He knows that. I'm talking about... Okay, wait a minute. I messed that up. I don't want to read all that. Joey and Brent were going back and forth, and if I start going down that road, I'll end up just reading everything to you, and I don't want to do that. Read it on your own. It's the Facebook post of Joey making an ass out of himself with his stupid take on this whole damn thing. But I love you. You're way wrong, though. These athletes can do whatever the fuck they want, and don't tell them to shut up. You just don't have to listen all the damn time. Okay. Karl should be here in mere moments. It says 9:28. I don't yet see him on the thing. When he's here, I'll bring him in. All right. Before I get him in, though, before I bring Karl in, you know what time it is. It's time for sponsors, the ones that keep this show going. First of all, I have a Patreon, patreon.com/Eric Zane. It almost has too much content on it. Every single day, I do a bonus podcast for 30 or 40 minutes with you. No ads on that, obviously. Right here, just like this, on the live stream. A little bit more interactive with the audience. I try to interact with you a little bit as best I can without getting distracted. That happens on Patreon, plus the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast, which unfortunately this week is a week off for that. We have a live Zoom audience for that show. In Zane Asylum, my radio show, the Smarter Than a Former Drug Dealer trivia game, the Lost Zane recordings from my time on the radio. I play those shows back for you. It's all there. $5 a month, $10 a month. $5 is the audio, $10 is the audio, video, live streams. If you don't like it, just try it. This is what I challenge you to do. Just try it. Just $5, $10, and then if it sucks, cancel it. You get the rest of that month. You don't like it, you can do that. Or you can let it ride or convert it to a yearly, and I'll give it to you for 10% off if you convert it to a yearly. So what is $112 for tier 2? All the audio, video, live streams, it's $108. Just the audio, it's $54 if you convert it to a yearly. So there you go. Patreon.com/Eric Zane. Get to Karl in just a second. I see him checking in. He is prompt and professional as usual. But I know he wants to hear about A&E Heating and Cooling. Oh, my God. Hey, if Chad Zumock were here, he'd be interrupting me during the read. A&E Heating and Cooling. If you're in West Michigan or Rochester, New York, you can reach out to A&E Heating and Cooling at 616-516-8579 during the month of April. You call up Joe Martinez and get the AC tuned up for $10 off, $69 this month. A&E Heating and Cooling, installing the Comfort Maker brand of air conditioners and furnaces. Thank you very much. And this is it. I swear to God, this is the last thing I'm going to do before Karl. Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid and EV. Get your vehicle repaired if you are in West Michigan right here. You can trust them at 616-532-6600. Call them up. Schedule the appointment. Drop the car off. You got the after-hours drop-off. Drop your key in the thing there. They're going to tell you what's wrong with it. You approve it online. Pay for it online. Pick up your car. You don't even have to interact with anybody. It's that simple. Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid, and EV. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the host of Who Are These Podcasts, which started with 0 audience members one day long ago. And holy shit, he has built this thing into a fucking juggernaut. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Karl. How are you, Karl?
Oh, you are too kind, Eric Zane. Thank you so much for having me this morning.
Oh, it is my pleasure. My pleasure to have you here. You can hear me okay?
I can hear you great.
Okay, good. So, I'm very, very happy that you're joining me. I just want to, first of all, thank you for having me on your show just last week. I really had a great time doing that. That was so much fun.
People loved you on the show, and that doesn't happen very often. First-time hosts usually get shit upon quite a bit in our Discord, but people really liked you a lot.
I was very nervous about that, and I have a sensibility. Like there was times that I was doing jokes that I knew didn't land or whatever, and I went, "Oh fuck!" And I actually thought in the back of my head, "I'm dead. I'm going to get killed for that." And it happened, but you gotta.
The biggest complaint was we were reviewing the show by this guy, Jamar Jones. And Jamar Jones has a specific way of speaking that you picked up on. Yes. And you were doing an impression. The biggest complaint was that you did the impression a little bit too much. I didn't think so. I loved it. But what saved you was the Chad Zumock segment. You put so much work into that. The audio that you brought for that, people were really impressed with.
Thank you. And, the way I looked at that is I had to have a lot. I had to have a lot ready, to mask any inability that I may have. And the nerves, I was very, very nervous. I've been doing this for a long time, but I was still very, very nervous about it because I know the audience. I mean, if you win them over with this crowd, that's a good spot to be in. So I didn't want to fuck it up. That's all I was worried about.
That is hilarious that you were nervous to be on Who Are These Podcasts.
Yeah. Oh, no, I'm serious. And I think that's a kind of a credit to you, Karl, because like I've explained your story to my audience and I've kind of gotten them up to speed about how this came to be. And you've really grown the show. So in a lot of ways, I look up to you in that regard, because that's not easy work,
Right. Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay. So there's 3 things I want to talk about, and I want you to pick them. And here's your choices. The Stuttering John lawsuit threat. And there's that. There's what is coming up on Who Are These Podcasts, or Chad Zumock doing the opposite of ignoring me. So we can talk about any one of them. I'll lead you to it. But right. Which one do you want to talk about first?
So if I was good at this, I would leave the Chad Zumock for last because that's what everyone's anticipating. That's what I want to hear. But unfortunately, I'm not good at this. I want to get right into Chad Zumock. You have clips from a recent episode of his?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's a kind of like a much smaller version of what I did, but it is still something.
Okay.
And so I'll share them with you right now. I did play them to start the show to get everybody kind of caught up to speed, but seeing you hear them, and hearing you hear them for the first time will be magical.
I'm excited.
Okay. So Chad first of all, for a little bit of context, he deleted his review of the Cunt at the Capitol documentary. That was a dirty delete, and I don't know why he did that, because he felt pretty staunch about it. But suddenly, after Who Are These Podcasts? Hang on, I got a cough. After Who Are These Podcasts? It magically got deleted.
And
Okay, whatever.
Episode was taken down?
He took down the entire episode.
Interesting. Okay. So I guess word got back to him that wasn't a great episode.
Yeah, it was a little weird. We talked about it on your show.
Yeah.
He also sent you correspondence that said, look, I want nothing to do with this Eric Zane guy. The quote was, he is barking down an empty hall, correct?
Yes, he was not. He goes, Eric's going to come on your show and talk about me. Just let him know I don't care. I'm not paying attention. This is not affecting me in any way.
Okay. Well, when we did talk about him, he tends to say one thing, do the opposite, or then say the complete opposite.
We've noticed that, yes.
So it would be no surprise then. I was listening to the Sit Down Zumock podcast yesterday, and he had Tony Mazer. I don't know who the gentleman is. He's in Cleveland radio, but they were having a discussion. They were having a discussion about there's too much content, streaming services for video and TV shows and even podcasts. And then that leads him to discussing your old pal, Eric, who he's apparently wants nothing to do with. So here you go.
There's so much content out there in general. And there's just so many fucking voices. Apparently.
Real quick, can you hear it okay? Does it sound good?
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to back it up.
There's so much content out there in general. And there's just so many fucking voices. Apparently, I'm in a podcast war with somebody. Have you heard of some dude named Eric Zane?
I've heard of Billy, but not Eric.
This guy just started trashing me on Who Are These Podcasts? I'm like, who the fuck is this dude? And then somebody sent me the clip.
Is this the free beer and hot wings guy?
Yeah, I Googled him, and he was on that show, Free Beer and Hot Wings, that fucking hacky. It was like, I think it was syndicated, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was.
So
the biggest market was Grand Rapids, Michigan, by the way.
I know. And I didn't even want to know anything about this dude, but I just did a little. First of all, his last name's not Zane. Of course, he had to change the name because that's what these radio dudes do. So I can't even pronounce his real last name. But yeah, it was just like he's trying to start this like radio war with me. And I'm like, I'm so not interested in it.
Wait a second. Your last name isn't really Zane? what the Drew Lane's real name isn't Drew Lane? What's going on here?
Okay. And it's funny because he explains inadvertently why I changed my name. It's hard to say.
Right, yeah.
You fucking idiot. Of course I changed it. It's Zaytunian. I'm not afraid of it. I don't give a shit if anybody knows my real name. It's just a little clumsy to say. So I
think that was funny that he goes, do you know who this Eric Zane guy is? Like expecting him to be like, no, he's a nobody. And the guy goes, oh yeah, actually Free Beer and Hot Wings, syndicated, Grand Rapids. He knew all about you.
I know. They've got it all down. Which, by the way, was ancient history. I mean, that was a long time ago. It was more than 5 years ago. And by not that I want to defend them, they got it all wrong. Their show's still massively syndicated. In fact, it's getting bigger. It's on like 50 markets, and they're in Buffalo. Which, by the way, a lot of people in Buffalo are looking for a new radio show, so maybe that's good for them.
Yep.
Buffalo, Nashville, Tennessee is a great town. The Jersey Shore is massive. So that's a little weak, but whatever. I don't care about that. So all of that was just stupid. But again, this is the guy who said, I don't want anything to do with him. Fuck Eric Zane.
He didn't need to bring it up right there.
No.
It wasn't necessarily a natural thing to say. By the way, I'm in a feud with another podcast. That wasn't what they were talking about. So yeah, obviously it's on his mind.
Well, he's just no fun to play with. You know, I like that he does it because it allows me as a jumping off point to kind of further this whole little thing.
Sure.
But he didn't want to do it, but it's in his head, so it just flew out of his mouth because they're going, oh yeah, there's a lot of content online. Hey, let me tell you about Eric Zane.
Yep.
All right, there's one more thing I want you to play. And can you describe the cringe of the week on Who Are These Podcasts? What does something have to do to be cringeworthy on your show?
Yeah, basically, people listen to podcasts, and because I point out a lot of the flaws that podcasts have, people are listening for certain things that podcasters do. And sometimes it's like a really bad edit, or maybe they get off on a tangent, and they should have taken it all out. They should have edited it all out. Maybe there's other types of technical issues that they have. So people will send me in, hey, Karl, check out this episode, check out this at this time, and I'll play that clip on the show, and we call it Cringe of the Week. We have a little jingle for it, and that's just a reoccurring bit that we do.
Okay, I'm glad you said that because I found one. So this could be an honorable mention perhaps for that because that fits to the T, the description of what happened here. A few minutes after that happened, they were going hard on Black Lives Matter. And now this is the time you don't want tech issues happening because these guys got a real strong opinion about it. Now, this says, no, I don't give a shit about their opinion. I actually think that that's always good when a podcaster plants that flag and says, this is how I feel, and you better, and I don't give a shit what you think about it. That's good. So he's on a roll. These two both hate Black Lives Matter. Okay. And, I'll give credit where it's due, but where it's clear Chad has not yet mastered the editing because this is how it sounded to the audience that he published. Wrong clip. This is there's a cringe right there. This is how it sounded.
Self-righteous dickheads trying to be better than the next. And listen, sorry, my. Oh,
yeah, something was going on. It was like I don't know. It was like a record scratch there. It was going on, but no. Well, with Black Lives Matter,
I mean, they should at least try to have a little fun with it if you're going to leave it in. That's the thing. If you're going to leave it in, then maybe you commented on it afterwards. You made it fun. Okay, then leave it in. But if it just sounds like shit, then you go, "Oh, that sucked." Then you can just take that out.
I'm starting to think I could possibly consider like there was spin-off shows from sitcoms. This could be a Who Are These Podcasts spin-off show. The stand-up Zumock podcast where it's just me. Look.
Why not? You got some time to go.
Show. Karl, I don't have time. I've got sponsors to sell.
Fair enough. I gotta put a poster behind me. I don't have time for this shit.
Karl, I love the artwork behind you. I see the Star Wars stuff. You're not ashamed to admit it, man. You're big into it, and looks excellent right there. What is the whole room decked out in that? I see Naughty Pine and Star Wars, so it's a clashing of.
Yeah, this is my Star Wars room. Let's see here. I have another guy over here. And then I don't think I can move my camera, but the wall over there has some skateboard decks with Star Wars art on it. My entire house is mostly rock and roll shit, but just this one specific room I have Star Wars.
Nice. I like that. Okay, Karl. I want to get into what do you choose next? Stuttering John or a preview of Who Are These Podcasts?
Let's talk about Stuttering John. It must be big news because Ed Ryan from Radio Inc. reached out to me this morning asking me about it.
I love him. He's fantastic. He's been very kind to me in the past too.
He's great. So
yeah,
Stuttering John on his show on Wednesday declared that I have finally crossed the line and that he can sue me for defamation of character because I made a joke. It wasn't a great joke. I don't know that people thought it was all that funny at the time, but I say a lot of things like you do. And I made a joke that he was fired from the Stephanie Miller show because he was drunk. Now, the reason why I think that's funny is because John is often drunk, but that is not true. And so he feels that he can now sue me. And he said that he talked to his attorney. His attorney agreed. They were writing up papers. They know where I live and I will soon be served.
Okay. All right. So yeah. And he went hard. I mean, for extended time, he was talking about this. He didn't say you by name. I don't think he did.
Nope, he didn't. But I know it was me.
Yeah. And I follow on the Reddit. So by the way, another great bunch on there. And they were letting John have it. And what do you think about this, Karl? I mean, I texted you ahead of time with 0 being least concerned and 10 being very concerned. What number are you at concerning Stuttering John's threat?
Okay, I believe, and I'm not an attorney, I believe he has no case at all. So with that belief, and I might change my mind after a conversation I'm going to have this weekend, but with that belief, I'm excited about this. I hope that he does try to sue me. I don't care if it costs me money. I think it would be hilarious for the show. Now, I reached out to his former attorney, Vince. Vince was the co-host with Stuttering John for a little while, who was trolling John actively on air while John was podcasting. John finally got wise to it and fired him. Vince is supposed to come on the show this weekend to talk about this case with me so I can figure out from an attorney whether they have a case or not. Because Eric, and I'm doing to give a little preview of what I'm going to talk about this weekend, but the thing with defamation suits is you have to prove malice intent.
And damage.
Well, and damage. Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, I mean,
yes.
Saying the Stuttering John didn't get a job because of me, it would be pretty hard to prove.
If you had, let's say, like when I worked in radio, if I signed an agreement with, I've signed many of these. I signed one with Free Beer and Hot Wings, and then honestly, they were very kind. They didn't sue me, but I was talking shit about them. And even if that's true, you are still breaking that covenant. Right. I could very easily have been sued.
Right.
I'm very pleased that they did not. Thank you for that. But that I figured that out along the way. I was like, holy shit. I found out I can't say shit about them. Oh, fuck. Oh, no. So you didn't sign anything like that with him. So I don't know about that with John.
Oh, right. Well, so that's the whole thing is that there's a couple of obstacles that he has here. One, that he's a public figure and they have a little bit of a harder time with these types of cases, slander. But the other thing too is this idea that there was an intention of harm. When I said those things, it was because I don't want John to get hired. Just the opposite. I want John to be on 24/7. If there was a 24/7 John station, my show would be the biggest show in the world because the more that guy talks, the more listeners I get on WATP as we review the nonsense that's spewing out of his face.
Who do you get more mileage out of, in your opinion, John or Opie, if you had to compare?
Well, it used to be Opie, but that has shifted dramatically because Opie is so boring right now. So John's a lot more interesting, I think.
When you started WATP, what year was it again that you started WATP, Karl?
2016.
You didn't start with Opie and John right away, did you? Or did you start with John?
I didn't talk about Opie until episode 107. And I didn't talk about John until sometime after that. We had never brought up their names.
Okay.
Doing mostly smaller podcasts people never heard of and kind of on them for sucking.
So for those who don't know, the first part of the show is that type of format, introducing new podcasts to people. And then there's the go-tos. There's Opie, there's John, there's Patrick Michael, there's Tom Myers. Is that right? Is that how I say that?
Tom Myers, yeah. Brett Hatley of Howard Stern and Bubba, and he's going to come on the show this weekend. It's one of the first times we're going to get a rebuttal from one of the people that we rag on quite a bit. So
yeah, let's kind of segue into the preview. That I am actually so excited about this because the shit you have said about these people and this guy's wife in particular.
I know, I've been very mean to wife's appearance. That she puts herself out there. I don't go around bashing people for their appearance, but if you're going to put yourself out there like a sex symbol and talk about banging guys and swinging nonstop, the content of his show.
Yes. Yes.
I'm going to comment on that. That's what we're going to do. So we'll see. Brent's been making the rounds. I saw him with,
is it Brent or Brett?
It's Brent.
Oh shit! All right.
I saw you typo. I didn't want to say anything. I saw him with Monique from Radio Gunk this week. He was on with Stuttering John. He was on with Sketchy Press, which is a guy I brought on my show who's gone at him pretty hard. So I think it'll be a good conversation. I don't think it'll be. I think he's coming in here with the idea that he didn't like that I had his former co-host Manson from the Bubba Show on.
I remember because that guy was kind of nutty too, because he's on there and all he could talk. When he was promoting his Twitch show, I was like, "Shut up, dude."
Yeah, Cluster F show or something like that. Yeah,
but whatever. Yeah, he went hard at Brent, so Brent, I guess, wants to, when he said to you, when Brent said, "Yeah, I want to take out Manson," were you like, "Ooh, thank God he's not mentioning me"?
Yes. In fact, what I did is I went back and re-listened to that when we had him on because it was a while ago. I don't remember. And I pulled all the clips of things that he said about Brent, like nobody liked him, and because Brent's coming in and going, "This guy's lying about me," so I'm going to play those clips for Brent and let him react to it. So that should be fun.
Oh shit! I can't wait. Okay, so you're gonna record it. Get started tomorrow afternoon. You usually let people know a heads up on the Discord. Hey, we're about to go live. So if people follow Who Are These Podcasts on Discord, they can hear it live as it happens tomorrow.
Yeah, we go at 2 p.m. Eastern time is when we start our show.
Okay, and then you'll publish it the following day.
Yep, every Saturday at 2. If you want to hop into Discord, listen live, that's totally free. You can do that. And then on Sundays, they're up by about noon, 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay, I'm stoked. Well, all right, man. Really good. I appreciate the time. Your audience loves you. I got a few of them that actually checked out this podcast for a little bit, so I tried not to fuck it up, make an asshole out of myself. But yeah, it's great. I really appreciate all of the opportunities you gave me. So thank you so much for that.
Eric, thank you for your continued promotion of Who Are These Podcasts. I do appreciate that, man. You're a good dude.
All right, Karl, thank you so much. I'll talk to you down the road, okay, buddy?
See ya.
So, yep, there you go, Karl from Who Are These Podcasts. How about that? Very fun. He's excellent. He's excellent. You know, Karl does not come from a radio background at all. He just listened to the radio, and he's developed this. He's excellent. He's got a great rapport. His timing is excellent. He knows how to keep the shit moving, which is not easy to do. And seriously, he's gotten to a point where he's going to be able to do this. If not now, very, very soon, like this will be his only job. So that's cool. He's on Patreon as well. And that's been just kicking ass. And for just a small amount of cash to Karl, similar to what I do, you get a bonus episode each week. So that is so cool. Excellent for him. Nice job. I wonder if he pays Andy and those guys and all those guest hosts that he brings in from time to time. He should probably give them a cut. If you guys are working for free, you need some cheddar because you provide a lot to the show. Okay. Thank you. That was fun. I hope you all enjoyed it. Okay, let's check out the email. We have another opportunity for email of the day. Not a lot to speak from today. Let's see. Alan in Scotland writes, Eric, just heard you mention the Eric Zane Show podcast t-shirts. I was wondering if you post internationally to Scotland, for example. Hope you and the family are well in the shit show of a planet we've had for the past year. Alan, of course. You just go to ericzaneshow.com, buddy. Click on merch. Tell them where you're at, and off you go. Actually, I'm not 100% sure that you will get it, but as far as try it. This is what you do. Try it. They'll let you know. If it doesn't work out, if they just take your money, I'll pay you back. Okay. Mike Pellerito writes this. Concerning our boy Kenny and his efforts to get the Eric Zane Show podcast on the news. You know, when you're a small-time guy like me, you take everything you can get. And Pellerito is the king of Eric Zane Show podcast guerrilla marketing. He writes, Eric, kudos to Kenny for getting on the news. I talked to him earlier about this. Hats off to the billboard placement he included, took up nearly half the shot. I was worried that they wouldn't let it fly, wondering how many Nashvillians saw the story and go, Eric Zane, I remember that dude. He's doing his own thing. I think I'll look him up. That's exactly what Kenny was trying to do. Thank you. Awesomely done. He writes, you got a spotlight on his issue. He got a spotlight on his issue while not missing an opportunity to showcase the show. And that is exactly right. That is how I am blessed to do what I do. My wife says, I have a $5 bill in my car. Did you steal it? No, I didn't steal your money. Queen of the Forest, brought to you by Baldwin Ace Hardware. Come on, don't let me down. Don't let me down. Shit.
You have reached Diana's cell phone.
That was terrible. There's your email of the day, brought to you by my friends at Forever Lawn West Michigan, online at foreverlawn.com/WMI. If you ever have an email that you want to send, please send it along in the Shoreliner striping inbox, eric@ericzaneshow.com. Stripe that parking lot with Shoreliners or sweep it too. Thank you so much. That's the best way to communicate with me is via the email. We're going to announce the asshole of the day coming up here. Yesterday, it was the dude who on Public Freakout on Reddit who got into the argument with the 11-year-old about the Confederate battle flag and called the kid a retard. Holy shit. That kid was anything but retarded. That kid was fucking smart as hell. I love that. Your nominations for asshole of the day. You can send them along on the live stream chat. Raise your virtual hand, and I will check them out, and then I'll review for you. Don't forget, Mother's Day is coming up May 7th, all right? And I would love to do a cameo for your mother. I'm really good at them. I'm not bullshitting. I'm great at cameos. You go to anybody on Cameo, this is what they do. Hey, how you doing? Hey, this is so-and-so. Happy birthday. And then that's it. It's terrible. Mine go like 3 minutes, okay? And a one take, they're awesome. I can pull that shit off. Cameo.com/Eric Zane, and they're only $15. If you do hire me, please do it on either your laptop or your desktop or download the Cameo app. Don't do it through any other app, okay? Cameo.com/Eric Zane. Two more of my sponsors. One is Gift of Life Michigan. Okay, Gift of Life Michigan, working very hard to make sure that lives are saved. As you know, an organ donor myself, they have asked me to spread the word about their initiatives for getting people to fill out their donor cards. It doesn't matter where you are, whatever state you're in, you can fill out your donor card and make this a possibility. If everybody did this, there would be no organ shortage, and people, kids, husbands, wives, fathers, mothers, daughters, sons would not be struggling and then eventually dying, okay? Gift of Life Michigan. Click on their logo at ericzaneshow.com. It'll give you all the information you need about doing this. Thank you to Gift of Life Michigan. And then, of course, the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage, NMLS number 3035. There has never been a better time to get a mortgage, okay? And that isn't going to be the case in the months to follow. Those rates are going to go up. But in some cases, you can get a mortgage rate damn near 2%. That's ridiculous, okay? Some of you are going through a mortgage right now like you have one. You have a 30-year, and you're sitting at what was a good rate of 3.85%, okay? This is what I want you to consider. Call Mario, 231-332-6505, and say, hey, Eric Zane said a 15-year. And you might be thinking, oh, there's no way I can afford a 15-year. It's like double the cost. No, it's not. No, because if you're paying 3.85%, and then you, because of 15-year, it's going to drop way down. Hell, even if it drops down to like a 2.5, okay, you're going to save more than $100,000 on a $400,000 home. On a home that expensive, for 30 years, you're going to pay close to $200,000 in interest. You convert it to a lower interest rate on 15 years, you'll probably pay $300 or $400 more a month. You can fucking swing that, okay? That's if you want to, that's fucking a DoorDash, for God's sake. And you're going to end up paying about $50,000 in interest rates. Now, of course, my math is fuzzy, but look into it and find out for yourself and get the numbers from Mario, 231-332-6505. Nominees for Asshole of the Day. Let's see what you're thinking. By the way, how about, boy, these names, Principled Uncertainty. You get a star on the forehead. So does Miss Pussy Liquor, spelled Liquor, star on the forehead, because you're new and you stuck with this motherfucker. So thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's cool. Welcome. In fact, Principled says, I love Eric's ad reads. They're hilarious. I'm addicted. Hell yeah, they're great. I told you, I know what the fuck I'm doing. You know what's great about my sponsors? Principled is whenever somebody gets pissed off at what I say, I get a text message or an email that says, I'm calling your sponsors. And then I usually say, I was like, here's the number. They're going to tell you to go fuck yourself. Uncancelable. It's beautiful. I tell them that going on. I go, there's going to be people that hate me and they're going to try to cancel me. Do you agree? Sign here to tell them to fuck off when they call. Yeah, we agree. Okay, thanks. Let's see. This is good. You recycle your glass and your aluminum. Why not your organs? Well done. Well said. All right. Anybody on asshole of the day going once, going twice? Anybody? Maybe? All right. You're leaving it up to me. That's fine. I can swing that. Here's the nominees. Audio Boom for saying I have to take my music off the podcast. I don't think so. I don't have a problem with that. I knew what I was getting myself into. Michigan's Dimmest banging on the doors for making it so their kids didn't have to wear masks. Okay, Michigan's Dimmest get a nomination for that. Zumock, yes, you get a nomination. The other guy, Tony Mazer, for acting like you had no idea who the fuck I am. You know exactly who the fuck I am. Let's see. The people that are keeping Kenny's kid from school. How about the mayor of Chicago throwing the cops under the bus? Brett Favre. That's about all I got for nominees for Asshole of the Day. Who is it gonna be? Well, I know what my heart wants to. Shit, man, I want a lot of them because I don't like Michigan's Dimmest banging on the doors of the school board meeting. Zumock, of course. You could always put Zumock in there. Holy shit. God, the Chicago thing is so serious. I might as well just leave that alone. Brett Favre, that was kind of yesterday's story. I kind of just recapped it today. So we're down to Zumock and Michigan's Dimmest. Who is it going to be? What name? What am I writing down right now? Yeah, boy. The Asshole of the Day is brought to you by TC Paintball and JM Synthetics. It must be Chad Zumock. That is, you've won an award. Congratulations. I don't even know who he is, man. He's trying to pick a fight with me. Yeah, speaking of content, there's a guy who's starting a war with me. I'm surprised Chad didn't go with his tried and true. He's trying to position himself to be famous. You know, and it's done. He's a cunt. He's done. Zumock. Holy shit. Chad, I don't hate you, but you're going to have to go on your show and tell everybody how right I am and how stupid you are before we're ever going to get anywhere, because you know I'm right, and you know you're shitty, and you know your podcast sucks tons of dick. Everybody's witness to it. And I don't even need to do anything more than just play your word. Now, mine ain't any better, but all I got to do is play your words, and everybody's going to be able to see exactly the truth about you. You suck shit. I don't have any time to do one 40-minute podcast with a co-host once a week. Whoa, holy fuck. You're right, Chad. You're so busy booking 0 dates at comedy clubs, you stupid piece of shit. The fuck is wrong with you? Okay, that's it. I'll be on Patreon after I go pee, more coffee, take the dogs for a walk, eat some oatmeal with cranberries and blueberries and brown sugar, and we'll do the Friday version of the Patreon bonus podcast. Till next time, thank you very much, folks. Talk to you down the road. Bye-bye.